Docking to the sea, crowds of people wait for me. Seagulls scavenge still ice cream. Worries vanish within my dream. I left my soul there, down by the sea. I lost control here, living free. I left my soul there, down by the sea. I lost control here, living free.
Hi. Superb.
Sweet. Love it.
Definitely.
Love it every time.
Definitely
So good.
getting a pilot's license over here, so I'm
Oh,
going to come
yeah.
see you.
Well, we'll do. Hey.
Fishing boats sail past the shore. No singing, Mayday anymore. The sun is shining, the water's clear. Just you and I walk along the pier. I left my soul there, down by the sea. Lost control here, living free. I left my soul there, down by the sea. Lost control here, living free.
Right, let's load up. There we go. Lovely. I'll start doing some of the checks. Alright, got slight crosswind from the right. Okay, ready to go?
Yep.
Good, good. Let's go. Full power. Acceleration is normal. 60. 80 nose up. Build a bit of speed and climb.
Yeah, we were just down there.
Yeah. Yeah, right there, right on those steps. Oh no, we were there, weren't we? Not this way.
Yeah, that way.
See what we were casting into.
Looks pretty good sea trade water there, to be fair.
It looks it. Let's get a bit of heat on here. There we go. Yeah, it does look really good.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, there's obviously other people out and about flying tonight then?
Yeah, one or two. Upper beacon there, isn't it?
Nästa radio 62 ansluter höger med vind 30 om 32. Tack så mycket.
I think that must be somebody who's on the same frequency, but not here.
Well, it was a bit clearer that time. He was
Little bit.
turning right 30 degrees or something,
Yeah.
I heard.
Översten radio, Sigurd Ludvig. Basbana 24, upp för gå.
So there we were. Is that where we were? Hang on. No, I'm not sure. I think it is.
It is,
We looked
yeah.
at, yeah, that is Yesterday, isn't it? And you can take the controls. There we go. So all you need to know. Well, if you take the control,
Yeah.
I'll sort out the pedals. So you've just got one thing to think about. So the button at the front there is the radio
Yeah, don't
button.
touch that.
So don't make any calls. And then to do a little turn to the right, just a little pressure
Yeah.
to the right, and
Okay.
then even more. Go for it. A little bit more. There we go. And then you see how the nose drops? So
Yeah.
you just pull a bit of back pressure, just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
very sensitive, this plane.
Yeah.
But can you see how now we've gone, because we've gone quite high, the speed's dropping right back.
Yeah.
So to get that speed back, a little bit of forward pressure. There we go. So it's all, when you're doing turns, it's all about,
Radio, back to högerbas, sign on.
it's all about keeping a kind of a constant picture
Yeah.
outside. So if you want to try a turn to the right again, so we tip into the right, and then a bit of back pressure, and then a little bit more back pressure. There we go. And then you can just keep that picture,
Yeah.
and that will keep us in a steady turn. We're losing a tiny bit of height. There we go.
Should go back up a bit more.
Just a touch. And then to do a turn to the left, obviously
Yeah.
same thing,
Oh.
to the left. And then just pull a little back pressure to stop the nose dropping, just
Yeah.
just a touch. There we go. That tightens into the turn then. Perfect, that's spot on. And then to straighten up, back to the middle. And then nose down a little bit to keep the speed up. There you go. So, what we want to aim for is a cruise speed of 160. So, you'll see the speed
Radio, section 2, final S-banan.
building up slowly.
Yeah.
So when it gets to 160, that's where you just want a touch of pressure just to level off. And then it's always just looking outside to keep the picture constant.
Yeah.
That's it. And then actually, if I trim for that, should feel that it should stay pretty much at what we set it at. If it's going up a bit, I can trim down. There we go.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's so sensitive, isn't it?
Feel free to
Very
do it.
sensitive.
If you want to do any more turns, go for it. Turns are a lot more fun than
Yeah.
straight and level.
Översten radio, Sigurd Ludvig, lämnar fältet och smugglig kurs mot Fjärås.
That's it. Nice. That's it. And then roll into the left. And as you're doing that, I'm just adding a touch of rudder on the same side with the feet.
Can I turn a little bit left and then right here?
Yeah,
then?
go for it. So what I'm doing with my feet is just keeping that ball in the middle.
Yeah.
I'll try and do. There we go. That's a perfect speed. It's just right. I'll bring the power up a bit so that we don't drop much lower than this. And then if the nose is dropping, you'll see the speed build up. So it's just a touch of back pressure to stop that happening. Pretty sensitive to the back pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the nose comes up pretty quick.
Pretty cool.
So, like when you're just flying along like this, the main thing that you're watching is your altitude. So at the moment we're descending a bit. This shows you your vertical speed, so we're going down a bit.
So we should keep that at 0 if you want obviously the...
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go.
There you go. And then to keep the speed at 160, to stop us descending, we add a little bit of power,
Yeah.
and then you use the nose pitch to control your speed. So if it's slowing down, it's nose down.
Yeah.
If it's speeding up, nose up. And there's not that much more to it in terms of straight and level flight. It's all about speed, watching your speed and altitude, and using the power and the pitch to correct
Yeah.
that.
then obviously whenever you're coming in to approach and prepare for landing and stuff, then how do you know how wide and how what sort of coordinates to actually?
That's it. Perfect correction. It's well, when I'm flying into here, I just know the area, so I know like the landmarks for turning in. But if you're flying into a place you've never flown in before, you'd use your map to find the spot, and then when you get to the airfield, you fly over the top and have a look at where the runway is, and then you use the runway as your reference for doing the circuit.
Yeah.
I mean,
and how much like, how far do you want to come in advance to a runway? Like, I mean, what altitude do you want to come in, and what speed? How do you, like, is that just through experience and learning what type of aircraft
partly.
it is and the wind and all that?
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, the speed, so the approach speed for this one's 110, so that's something you learn for the different aircraft.
Yeah.
And the circuit height is set by the airfield, so you have to find that out in advance, or you can find it out en route as well. You can look it up online, but generally you look at that in advance. And then communication with them, you just have to have the right frequency and then radio them as you're coming in. I'm going to descend a little bit more. So as you let the power off, to keep the speed up, you need a little bit more nose down attitude, otherwise you slow down. Oh, we're going to be coming over. In fact, are we already over your mum's place? I think we're right. We're pretty much exactly over it, aren't we?
Are we?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's directly below us. You want to do a circle?
Shall we?
Yeah, why not? Okay, let's give it a bit of power, and then stick
right,
over to the right. It's easier to do it to the right when you're on the right. There we go, about that bank angle, so we don't want to overbank.
Yeah.
And then I'll help you hold it in. That looks good. In fact, we can bank a bit more than that. Let's get it over a little bit more right pressure. There you go. And then as you bank more, you also need a little tiny bit more back pressure, like that. A little bit less so our speed doesn't drop. Give it a bit more power to keep us through the turn. Can't find it now. I think, is it because we're directly over it? Tell you what, if I take control a second, I'll put us into a steeper turn. There we go.
Oh yeah, we are directly over it. It is, yeah, just down there.
So you can turn pretty steeply like this.
Take a quick photo of that.
Go for it.
Hälsar från Sigurd David. Viper närmar sig från ost på 1700 fot. Kommer att flyga över fält och angöra landning på lämplig bana. Trafikområdet frågar. Sigurd David.
It's bloody loud. Okay, so we're nearly down at 1,000 feet, so when we get there I'll just bring up the power a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what we'll in a moment we're going to head for those. There's some kind of white farm buildings in this corner of the lake.
Yeah.
That's where we want to head for. So if you start making a turn to the right with
Sharpish.
a little bit more back pressure, just like that. That's good. Nice. There we go, and then level out towards those buildings there. So it's right there. Yep. Nice. Okay, and then I'd better take it from here because then I'll have to I've got a few checks and things and I've got to slow it down.
God damn it.
Sorry.
All right.
Right, but we'll do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
You know. In fact, I can show you the effect of the rudder a bit. So the rudder without the ailerons feels like this.
Yeah, okay.
Feels a bit weird. And if you do a turn without the rudder, it feels like this. So I'm just banking and not pressing the rudder pedal.
You need
it's kind of slipping
like a
so now,
thing.
yeah. So now if I use the rudder, it tightens in the turn.
Yeah.
Like that. Same thing back the other way. So without the rudder, it feels like this, and you see the ball slipping.
Yeah.
And then I put in the rudder, and it just feels a lot more kind of Like you feel nicely seated.
Yeah.
I'm pressure in the seat. Trim for 120. 100. Well, just above 110. Reduce the power so we start coming down a bit. Make another radio call.
Fjärås, Sierra Echo, Victor Uniform Papa, downwind 26 to land.
And then by the time we were over those farm buildings, I want to be at 800 feet, but at this speed. And then we do
So
a left
reduce
turn.
this a little bit and put the down.
Yeah, so actually I'm a bit high, so I'll reduce a bit, let the nose down a bit, but I don't want to let the speed build up. Turn in here.
Fjärås, Sierra Uniform Papa, turning left base 26 to land.
And the main thing in the circuit is always watching that speed, because if you get too slow, you can stall, and then you're going to crash.
Yeah.
So this is your lifeline. So I want 500 feet over the car park.
And is that just through experience? You know that you have to come in at 500 feet
Yeah, and
that
you
far away?
you learn it when you do your lessons. Talk you through it all. So 500 feet, and then I'll be turning final to land.
Fjärås, Sierra Uniform Papa, final 26 to land.
So when you're learning all of this at once is pretty overwhelming at first. So you just, when you're doing your lessons, you just practice and practice
Yeah.
and practice and practice. So you go down, you do a touch and go. So you just put the wheels on the ground, take off again, go round, do it again, do it again, do it again. Go 2 stages of lap here. Click in. Keep the nose down, keep it down, no traffic. No. Don't want any big lorries coming across. There we go. Oop. And go.
Nice.
Come to a stop.
Quite I mean, know how you come down quite fast, but then when
Yeah.
you pull it up, it really straightens out, flattens out very
Yeah.
very quickly.
That takes quite a lot of. Oh, it's a cool shadow. It's another bit that takes a lot of practice. You know, not to kind of slam it in or.
Yeah.
That one off. So 85. I just write that down.
9585.
Got it.